A one-punch knockout for Carlos Prates.
Smooth, calm, violent, absolutely nasty combos. He looked like prime, young, vintage Anderson Silva to me. This dude is absolutely in the UFC.
Carlos Prates, one of the fighting nerds. Momentum that this team has lends itself to him getting the success that he is seeing inside the octagon.
Brazil's Carlos Prates has really taken the UFC's welterweight division by storm this year, winning all 4 fights he's had in that promotion since joining the roster in August of 2023 following his stunning performance on Dana White's Tuesday Night Contender Series. With his extensive Muay Thai background and impressive takedown defense, it's no wonder this South American killer has achieved the success he has in this short of a time. Before I get into today's video, please be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to my channel. Though I'll be doing things slightly differently today than I normally do. This is my 15th resume review. I'll link the others, as well as every Carlos Prates fight I find in full online, in the description below. Currently, Prates is riding an 11-fight win streak with 10 straight knockouts, and later on in this video I'll be showing you each and every one of those finishes, so be sure to stick around for that. Unfortunately, there's still a lot of unknowns about Carlos Prates. The man doesn't even have a Wikipedia page yet. But what I do know is that he had 103 professional Muay Thai bouts, and I know he switched between kickboxing and MMA for a time before eventually turning his sole focus to MMA. Prates' martial arts training began with Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu at a young age, an art form he now boasts a black belt in, which is pretty exciting to think about considering how much of a straight-up assassin he is on the feet. We haven't even gotten to see how well-rounded he is yet. He started going to a Muay Thai gym at age 15, and the rest is history, as they say. Prates began his MMA career in 2012, debuting in March of that year to face 6-4 Sergio Vieira.
De perna, vai ter que ser 3 vitórias e 7, indo de fora para dentro. O Prates veio para cima, conseguiu um golpe bom ali na altura da cabeça do Carlos Prates. Ele fica mais próximo, mas vai tentando chegar ali pro meio do cage. Vai buscar o chão, Sérgio Vieira. O outro deu uma olhada, agora ele colocando ali pra grade, olha. Um spinning back, conseguiu um chute girado. Veio, puxou pra ajoelhada, mas não conseguiu achar nada. Veio com a ajoelhada voadora. Segundos. Pode trabalhar a pedalada melhor, não conseguimos no finzinho desse primeiro round. Ele vem com o chute, tentando ali pra cima. Lembra que o Carlos Prates está... do adversário. Bom mergulho do céu. E a questão é se em pé. Veio para a joelhada, conseguiu 2 bons golpes. Carlos Prates sentiu o melhor momento. Veio para cima, golpeando eles e golpeando também com socos. Outra vez um chute ali para cima dele, na altura da cintura, vai acabar. Acabou!
He returned just 1 week later to face 0-0 Renato da Silva Jr., picking up his 2nd straight knockout victory, improving him to 2-0 as a professional mixed martial artist in just 7 days. Prates' 3rd MMA fight came just under 2 months later in May, where he faced 6-0 Rafael Nunes, losing the fight via TKO when he was injured after being taken down. His MMA career got a little rocky from here, trading wins and losses over the next few years. I couldn't find any more of his wins over this stretch, just a few of his losses where he was heel hooked by 5-1 Diogo Cavalcanti, Darce choked by 9-10 Claudiere Freitas, and TKO'd by 1-0 Mikhail Romanchuk, which is probably the most surprising defeat of his career if you ask me. That loss brought Prates to 7-5 as a professional. He'd go on to win his next 3, all 3 via knockout over 5-7, 20-13, and 5-0 opponents, before losing a unanimous decision to 4-0 Gadhamirov Abdullayev in June of 2019. A Russian talent that just turned 28 years of age in October and is currently 9-0 as a professional with 8 finishes, the only decision of his career coming against Prates. After falling to 10-6, however, the newly ranked Brazilian contender hasn't lost since. He rebounded from the 6th defeat of his career with a unanimous decision over 1-0 Joseph Luciano, who was also 12-4 as an amateur and is currently sitting at 10-2 as a professional, going 9-1 since losing to Prates. Just after this is when Prates' 10-fight knockout streak began. The first knockout of this epic win streak came against 7-3-1 Alan Silva at SFT 32.
A combinação, o jabzão. O Alan Silva. E agora vai pra cima o Carlos Prates. Entrou a mão. Agora no ground and pound. Bate firme, bate forte, bate com vontade. Mas conseguiu conectar o golpe no momento exato. Agora vai. De lado vai terminar. Terminou!
Prates followed this up with another over 16-9 Taffarel Brazil at SFT 35.
Trisante, tenho certeza.
Ele já mostrou que tem mãos rápidas. O Taffarel não pode nem sonhar em se deixar encurralar aí na grade. E agora sim.
Fechou ali um gancho na perna direita.
A especialidade dele é a luta em pé.
Carlos Prates, o time do Carlos Prates, ele vai para o avanço, olha o Carlos Prates, aí você vê o corner vermelho. Corner do time do Taffarel Brasil. Trabalha ali o jab. Oh, a joelhada dura, hein?
Taffarel, essa joelhada ela chega fácil.
Aí de novo, ó, encurtar a distância, 30 segundos finais, low kick. Oh, golpe saltado, tentou combinar com o cruzado pelo Taffarel Brasil.
O Taffarel valente, poucos naquela sequência, ele acaba se expondo muito, né? Ele pode acabar sendo surpreendido no contra.
De cinturão. Marajó versus chute conectado pelo Carlos Prates, susto, hein? Que pancada.
Sentiu, hein?
Sentiu. Escolheu o chute frontal.
A medida que ele dá pra cima do Carlos Prates não surte efeito.
Sentiu de novo, hein? Taffarel avança sempre bem perigosamente.
Sentiu, hein?
Sentiu de novo. Entrou à direita, caiu com delay. Entrou o jab de delay.
Foi nem um jab.
Agora vai terminar. Agora vai terminar. Começa uma combinação.
Beleza do Carlos Prates, é o que eu comentava. Agora é com requintes de crueldade, Ivan.
E agora vem. Solta o ovo, sentiu. Recolheu o corpo. Almendra tá ali de olho. Ajoelhada, vai terminar.
Nossa,
terminou.
senhora.
He'd do the same to 8-3 Charles Oliveira in his next fight at SFT 37, and of course, no, not that Charles Oliveira.
Proibido piscar.
Como a gente esperava, né? Pelo menos nesse primeiro momento, muito estudo, muito reschiga de esgrima, e aí volta mais desgastado pra trocação.
Aí trabalha. Belo frontal do Prates. Belo. Aí trabalha com dentes demais, Roman.
A paulada, um taco de beijo.
Outra vez o low kick. Ao mesmo instante. Oh! Entrou à direita, sentiu! Entrou à direita! Sentiu! Vai terminar!
Before making his LFA debut at LFA 146, opposing 12-6-1 Mikhail.
Another head kick by Carlos Prates. Yes. Outside leg kick. One more.
The kicks. One more.
It's actually about throwing it. Hitting something. MMA fights. This is his 21st MMA fight.
I can tell he's better striker than his opponent right now.
Good body kick by Rocha. 2 minutes left for Brazil in 2022.
Carlos Prates get a better Muay Thai.
First round. Was he trying to... Whoa! Anything to do with your brother? Good punches by Carlos Prates. That's it.
He followed this up with a win over 21-7 Eduardo Ramon at LFA 154.
A bigger Eduardo Ramon when he stands in front of Prates, but
that's probably how a lot of the takedowns would come, kicking and getting knocked back off balance. So far,
there's that shoot.
For as much as we said the grappling accolades and the weight advantage, look at that. Prates escapes, but it's got to be a big confidence.
There's that head kick. He's down.
Knocks him down.
Prates.
He's hurt.
Again, what a knockdown by Prates.
Oh, he's hurt. He's on wobbly feet right now, Max.
For Prates, laser focus.
Oh! Oh my God!
Prates from Caio Borralho, and he's drinking it, cowboy, ladies and gentlemen.
He's coming over here saying, I want the strap.
Boom.
And after a performance like that, throw a kick, and he'll make an adjustment mid right here, inching him forward, and comes in with a left knee.
After going 2-0 under the LFA banner, Prates was called up to compete on Dana White's Contender Series, facing 7-0 Mitch Ramirez in the event's headliner, which was pretty impressive considering Yusri Bagore co-headlined. Another elite kickboxer that went 27-7 in the sport with a notable trilogy against Alex Pereira, winning the first of their 3 fights.
Carlos Prates said he was trained.
Oh, nice leg by Ramirez.
Kick to the body from Prates.
Of Ramirez.
Oh, the kick gets under. Ramirez lands a counter right.
Good job by Ramirez.
Oh, that's straight.
That was beautiful.
Slams him down.
He's trying to clear the left hand. He's got to address that one first.
Sweep.
Got to address that button. So Prates ended up getting up. Oh, beautiful knee.
Oh, counter left.
Oh, that's nasty. You heard that. It sucks bad. Oh!
Starting to be a technician here. Oh, straight left.
Yeah, he's going to knee him.
Oh, and another left. Oh, and kick gets through. Follows it up with a 1-2. First round.
Oh, my
Another
goodness.
left hand. This is landing at a 70% clip so far. Oh, and he dips in for a knee and an uppercut.
Opportunities there.
And a couple of more heavy strikes.
Just spending the night in. Ramirez did it. Sitting there at that age, young.
Oh, big left hand.
Oh, Prates starting to apply the. Oh, the left staggers him. And that will do it. A one-punch knockout for Carlos Prates.
After a stunning performance on the Contender Series, Prates was awarded a UFC contract, where he made his promotional debut earlier this year in February at UFC Vegas 86, opposing 16-5 Trevin Giles.
He just comes up out of nowhere, so watch that back leg. He's very...
That's his fifth appearance at 170 pounds.
It'll be a great night.
Oh, he tries to land the knee, and Giles tries to time it.
I love about that back knee and this back teep kick.
Immediately. Oh.
I mean, that's 4 of those that have landed.
Yeah, Giles is good.
Oh, my gosh, there's the left hand. He's been
is out. Carlos Prates turns the tables.
Left hand just dropped him. He starched him right on the chin.
After this incredible UFC debut that couldn't have gone any better for Prates, he returned to the octagon in June at UFC on ESPN 57, facing 9-3 Charles Radtke and securing one of the most beautiful body shot knockouts you'll ever see.
He has very dangerous hands. Oh, my goodness.
That's already bruised. Look at the inside of that leg. He's being very patient. He's definitely taking his time.
With no windup.
Left hand is even aiming for that knee. Oh my God, piston like left. He's standing back. Buckles him with a body shot. That's it. And now it is the nightmare. Carlos Prates.
Unbelievable work from Carlos Prates here. The knee. He sees it, steps in. I mean, that is right on the liver off switch.
Prates' next test was a true showcase performance for him, where he faced 19-8 Li Jingliang in August at UFC 305.
I think he recognizes that the Leech is a little tougher.
It's very sharp, and it's anytime you try for the Leech tonight, he has never been knocked out.
Oh!
Nice left hand lands for him from the outside.
Just back off him.
Head kick for Prates, partially landed or so it appeared. His spots well early, landing at 80%. All the combinations, he's slipping out of the way, he's going to the weak side.
That was a beautiful pivot there by Prates.
Oh! Sets him down again. And right back to work.
I mean, Prates. Oh! This dude is powerful. The leash doesn't go down for this to be happening. Guy that comes off of Contenders and they seem ready right now. Or at least one of the guys that was in the top 15
right
of his roll with punches. He never stayed
on that lead leg of Prates.
Oh my goodness.
For a buy one, get one free offer on Kuda.
Right now his intention is to help
that left kick.
Oh my goodness.
I think Prates is fighting.
Oh!
Another knockdown for the passing, taking his time, setting up the knockout.
Oh!
Southpaw.
Oh my goodness.
Hand from Prates. Oh! That'll do it! 2 shots in every can, feel the fun.
Look, he hurt him. He hurt him bad here. On this one. Another straight left. Boom! Oh my goodness. It was a right hook, then a left hook that put him out.
This brings us up to Prates' latest appearance when he headlined UFC Vegas 100 against 29-12 Neil Magny, the man with the most welterweight fights in UFC history at 34, 38 if you count his tough fights, and also the most wins in UFC welterweight history with 22, again 25 if you count his tough fights.
But it's not the only weapon. There's the game.
Can Neil Magny run this?
Way on top.
From Magny's guard, he's got these long limbs, can wrap
to the feet is Prates. Past the first.
Magny needs to be careful of his head placement there, but he's going to tree top with this leg of Prates. Prates side to side by side, exactly.
Up and down. Oh!
Was it a short elbow? Wants him back up. Sat him down, I believe, and now he's going to work.
He gets guys going backwards.
This guy's dangerous. And he flipped forward. And Carlos Prates.
Game. He puts guys on the fence, traps them. It wasn't even a clean shot.
It wasn't up of the head. Boom, there it is. I mean, that always
the temple.
rocks.
It was the temple, and every time.
Let's take a closer look at these 4 names Prates has beat since joining the UFC. Trevin Giles, though of course not the best fighter in the world, is a very dangerous, heavy-handed striker with solid boxing and one of the better jabs in MMA. Giles is known for his knockout power, having secured violent KO victories in each of the UFC's light heavyweight and middleweight divisions. That's how he started off his UFC career, KOing 8-1 James Bogdanovich at UFC 213 up at 205 pounds, before dropping down to 185 pounds in his next appearance where he KO'd 9-2 Antonio Braga Neto. Giles had since dropped down to 170 pounds following defeat to future, now current UFC middleweight champion Dricus du Plessis at UFC 264. Where he'd gone 2-2 leading up to his fight with Prates. In addition, Giles also boasts UFC wins over James Krause, number 10 ranked middleweight contender Roman Dolidze, and also beat a trio of UFC vets before joining the UFC, and number 9 ranked middleweight contender Brennan Allen, Ike Villanueva, and dangerous light heavyweight staple Ryan Spann, submitting 2 of them. Then we have Charles Radtke, who was 2-0 in the UFC at this point and had already defeated a former kickboxing champion in Blood Diamond in his promotional debut. He followed that up with a first-round knockout over Gilbert Urbina before losing to Prates, and has since defeated Matt Semmelsberger with another first-round knockout, also at UFC Vegas 100 earlier on in the card. Li Jingliang hadn't fought in 2 years going into his fight with Prates, most recently losing a split decision to Daniel Rodriguez in a fight 80% of the MMA fanbase scored for him. Not including that fight, Jingliang had gone 9-3 over his last 12, losing to Jake Matthews, Neil Magny, and Khamzat Chimaev in that time. I just did a resume review on Khamzat Chimaev, by the way. If you'd like to check that one out, I would greatly appreciate it. What's more, Jingliang had 7 knockouts in those 9 wins, most notably knocking out 21-5 Elizu Zaleski dos Santos and 27-3 Santiago Ponzinibbio, both of which went into those fights against him on 7-fight win streaks with 4 finishes. Dos Santos most notably KOing Sean Strickland, Luigi Vendramini, and submitting Curtis Millender, and Ponzi most notably stopping Court McGee, Gunnar Nelson in what was a pretty big upset at the time, and Neil Magny. After stopping both of their 7-fight win streaks with stunning knockout finishes, Jingliang also knocked out Muslim Salikov in his most recent win, who was 18-2 in MMA with a whopping 185-13-1 record in professional kickboxing. Furthermore, Jingliang is known for his iron chin, and he had never been knocked out until facing Prates, who put him out cold with that vicious left hand he seemingly couldn't miss all night. Then we have Neil Magny, a true staple of the UFC's 170-pound division with notable wins over former middleweight title challenger Kelvin Gastelum, former Bellator middleweight champion Hector Lombard, former UFC welterweight champion Johnny Hendricks, former WEC and interim UFC welterweight champion Carlos Condit, former UFC welterweight champion Robbie Lawler, current number 10 ranked Jeff Neal, who's the last man to defeat current UFC welterweight champion Bilal Muhammad, Daniel Rodriguez, and Canadian prodigy Mike Malott in his latest win at UFC 297. That doesn't even count the absurd amount of other talents Magny has finished through his long 40-plus fight professional career. Prates again made it look easy, stuffing all of Magny's takedown attempts en route to his late first-round KO win. He barely even landed this glancing shot, but the amount of power he can generate is just unreal. Honestly, Prates is like a welterweight version of Alex Pereira. He's tall, skinny, but strong, has as much skill on the feet as anyone could possibly need, and he just has that touch of death type of power in his strikes. 10 straight knockouts is incredible, but what's even more incredible is when you consider 8 of those 10 were all cold KOs with just 2 TKOs. What's more, Prates' last 3 wins showcased him defeating opponents that had a good run against former kickboxers. Charles Radtke, Li Jingliang, and Neil Magny, the first 2 of which defeated former kickboxing champions. And while Magny didn't defeat any kickboxing champions, he has defeated a lot of MMA champions, and he did beat Hector Lombard and Carlos Condit, 2 MMA champions that had good kickboxing runs of their own, Lombard of which went 2-0 in pro kickboxing, Condit going 3-1. Following his main event victory at UFC Vegas 100, Carlos Prates is currently 21-6 as a mixed martial artist, and he's currently sitting in second place for the longest active UFC knockout streak, surpassing his teammate Jean Silva and interim UFC heavyweight champion Tom Aspinall, who both have 3. Prates is now tied for second with former UFC middleweight champion and current UFC light heavyweight champion Alex Pereira at 4, both of which are sitting just behind Steve Garcia, who has 5. But those are just UFC knockouts. When you consider he has 10 straight, you know he's riding the longest knockout streak of any current UFC fighter, and by a wide margin. Honestly, having a 4-0 year in the UFC is just remarkable. But to do that all in your first year with the promotion in just 9 months' time, not to mention with 4 straight KOs, it's an astounding achievement. And if anyone not named Carlos Prates gets the Newcomer of the Year award for 2024, we should all riot. Of Prates' 21 professional MMA victories, 16 come via knockout with 3 submissions and just 2 decisions. Before I end this video, I'd like to add that the most recent Muay Thai record I could find of Prates was 64-6. If we're going off this tale of the tape, assuming his record here is accurate, and adding to it his newly created Wikipedia page, it looks like he's gone 16-2 since this fight, though an 80-8 record doesn't quite add up to 103 fights like he claims. I assume he went 93-10, 94-9, 95-8, something like that, but right now that's kind of impossible to tell, unfortunately. That about does it for today's video. If you made it this far, I'd like to thank you so much for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, please remember to click the like button and subscribe to my channel, and hopefully I'll see you on the next one.